Hey everybody, we had a request if we could talk about traveling in our RV with our dog, so I'm here today to do just that. Belle, our small dog, is turning 12 years old this month, and she has traveled over 180,000 miles by RV with us. And, it wasn't always easy, I would say. Um, Dogs are very popular for RVers. Over 53% of RVers travel with a dog. So it can be done. It does add an extra layer to your traveling, and I wanted to just share some tips of what we do with traveling with a pet. I also wanted to share some tips on how you can realize whether or not your dog is ready for RV travel. Some of the easy ways to spot this, of course, is does your dog travel well in a car? If so, then you're almost there. You're already like 50% of the battle is that alone. But just because your dog does travel well in a car does not mean it will travel well in an RV. There are sounds in an RV that cars do not have, and it can make some dogs very skittish to be traveling by RV just because of the sounds alone. You also have to keep in mind that a dog has senses way above ours. So things that may seem small to us can be huge for them. So a small rattling cabinet, parking at a gas station overnight, the sounds from trucks coming in and out of a rest area, all these things can be triggers for dogs. Campground sounds as well. Kids playing, other dogs playing, trucks backing in, vehicles leaving in the middle of the night, coming back. All these things can be triggers for dogs. And you just got to know your dog a little bit and figure out, what does set them off, what doesn't set them off, and how do you counter that. I can tell you now, after 10 years of traveling by RV, Belle absolutely loves it. Like, she gets so excited to go into the RV, but it wasn't always that way. When we first tried RVing, we rented an RV our very first time. We didn't bring Belle on that trip because we thought it would be too much for us to learn how to RV and get her to learn how to RV. So we took that RV trip at rental on our own the very first time to kind of separate the two. And then once we realized, okay, we liked RVing, now we need to introduce Belle to RVing. And the way we did this was after we purchased our RV, we would go on small little trips with Belle. And these were just day trips. Literally, we would go into our RV and take her to a park or take her to a dog park, take her somewhere for a walk. We wanted her to associate the RV with something fun. If she went in the RV with us and she went on a little ride with us, it was almost a reward. Also, at this time, we were not living in our RV, so it was easy to keep things out of the RV that would rattle and things like that. So we kind of slowly got her, to accept the RV as one, something fun, something totally not scary. It was a reward to go into the RV and go somewhere fun that she just associated. Now the RV is just like, oh, I get to go do something. This is fun. This is great. So that's how we kind of started Belle out was, these just little day trips. And then we progressed to a weekend trip. And then, of course, you're introducing more sounds into that RV because now you got plates and dishes and you're taking up space. You're learning too. Like, okay, well, where does her food and her water bowl need to be? Where does all of her maybe medication and her toys go? Things like that. So that's something really to keep in mind too. Like when you're bringing on a dog into the RV, it's more than just that dog because the dog needs support as well. And honestly, Belle was a little nervous in the RV when we first started doing this because of those little sounds. And I'll say that it was also very helpful to have Sabrina in the passenger seat. We buckle Belle up into a little harness and seat belt, and she sits between our two captain's chairs. And this is great because she's up front with us. We can monitor her, and as we're driving, Sabrina's there to comfort her and give her, that moral support that everything is okay. I know when we first started driving, like Belle's instinct was to hide or try to hide under my feet where I'm driving, where the pedals are. And we were trying to explain to her, like, that is the worst place for you to be. And that took a little bit of time. It's not going to be instant. So don't get too discouraged like right away if your dog seems to be panicking, because Belle did too. And now, oh my goodness, all we got to do is mention RV and her ears perk up and she wants to run to the RV. We actually keep our RV in our backyard, and it's not uncommon for her to run over to the RV when we let her out and sit at the steps of the RV because she wants to go for a trip. So don't be too discouraged if your dog seems to be a little hesitant about the RV travel. There's a good chance they will get used to it. Most likely you'll be able to gauge that though. Like, is it real fear, or is it just like, oh, they're a little skittish around this or a little skittish around that? My number one tip is not to go all in too fast. Little trips, day trips, weekend trips, and then, bigger trips. And then, as I mentioned earlier, triggers for your pet are going to be different for you. So think about RV parks, campgrounds, rest areas, casinos, cabela's, cracker barrels, things like that. Our suggestion for places like that, even a campground, is try to arrive as early as possible. Try to get your dog familiar with the area. Let it out right away. Let it explore with you. Walk around an area. See what the area is like. Let them see what the area is like, especially a truck stop or a cracker barrel, something like that. Let them get real familiar with an area before you're trying to like settle in and go to bed. Don't be arriving late at night and expect your dog to be all calm and ready to settle in for the night. It's just most likely not going to happen that way. Also at night, they are a little bit more sensitive to sounds. Something that we use that we find to help calm Belle down as well as ourselves is white noise. So if we're staying at a rest area for the night and there's trucks and vehicles coming in and out, not only do those noises wake us and disturb us, but they certainly get Belle all wound up. So we've run a white noise on a low volume, just enough to kind of block out that noise from the outside, keep everything at an even tone on the inside. And that seems to really work well for us and for Belle. Also, keep in mind, if you're planning on bringing a dog on your RV trips with you, of course, this is an extra layer of responsibility. Not for you just to take care of the dog or whatever pet it may be, but also kind of like vice versa. Say you're trying to plan to work for the weekend in your RV and you got video conferences and calls. There's not a lot of space in the RV. So most likely your dog is going to be feeling a little cooped up. It's going to make noise during the presentation. What if you're trying to make a YouTube video? The area before... Hey, it's okay. It's going to bark while you're making the video. It's going to see something that it doesn't like, and it's going to make a noise. So this is something that you need to be mentally prepared for as well, so that when this happens, you don't freak out and get your dog all worked up too. You always want to be calming every situation down. Maybe this is a video that you're watching to see, is bringing a dog into my life and for RVing a good idea for myself. This is something that you need to be aware of, or just at least have in mind that your dog will be disruptive to you just as much as things are disruptive to it. Another thing to keep in mind by bringing a dog into the RV world is it okay to be alone sometimes? I do my best. Absolutely do my best. I hate Sabrina. I drive Sabrina crazy with this. I hate leaving Belle behind for anything. I don't even like to go into a restaurant without Belle. So this is something I've been trying to work on, to be honest with you, is getting more comfortable leaving Belle. But what we try to do in these situations, if there is something that we want to do that Belle cannot do, like a museum or something that needs to be quiet, a library, and she cannot go in, we try to find some type of doggy daycare that's in the area. We've been actually finding some really good doggy daycares. And a lot of times, if it's your first time bringing your dog to a doggy daycare, like that particular daycare, you almost need to do a trial day first and then the actual day. So it doesn't always work out depending on how long you're in an area for, because sometimes it'll take 2 days, a half day the first day, and then they'll let them come back for the full day. Like 1 day's an evaluation, then it's time for the full day. So keep that in mind. But typically, the doggy daycares work really well for Belle because she is socialized. We've been bringing her to dog parks since she was 6 months old. So she's used to other dogs. She's used to people. She's used to a lot of things. And that definitely helps in the long run too. How social is your dog? Because when you're at campgrounds, there's going to be other dogs there. Like I said, 53% of RVers travel with a dog. You're going to run into other dogs at a campground. So being able to leave them either at a doggy daycare, very helpful. If you don't think you can do that and you will have to leave them alone in an RV, how disruptive are they? How destructive, I guess I should say, are they? Do they chew furniture? Will they make a mess in your RV at all? Belle is really good. She's never chewed on anything. She's never made a mess in the RV one time. She is, we don't give her enough credit. She's almost like a little angel. But if you've met Belle, you know she's not. She's got her moments too. But she can be left alone. She's okay being left alone. She does have a little bit of anxiety. And when we do need to leave her alone, this is what we use. We have a waggle, and that monitors the temperature in the RV. If it were to get too warm in the RV, it sends us an alert. It works off its own cell service. That gives us a little bit of peace of mind. And we also use, I think it's either called Wise or Waze. It's WYZE. It's a little camera. We mount it inside the RV, and we can keep an eye on Belle that way also. We don't, but you could talk to her. That actually seems to bother her more if you do like say her name. But you can listen at least to her. You could talk to her as well. Those two things really help put us at ease when leaving her. We also have a very large battery system. So if we were to leave her in a campground and the power goes out, our battery system automatically kicks in, keeps the AC running, and makes sure that she's okay until we can get home. Our power system can run our RV for several hours, probably up to 6 hours on max. So that gives us a little bit of a buffer too. But these are definitely things to think of when traveling with a pet is, safety. Where's the nearest vet? Whenever we go somewhere new, we try to find the nearest vet to see where they are. Belle's 12 years old. She's getting older. Keeping an eye on where the local vets are. I know one time we were somewhere, Belle actually ate a bee and got tongue swelled up. She was passing out, falling over, and we had to quickly get her to a vet. Unfortunately, the closest vet was like 35 minutes. That was the longest 35-minute drive ever. But these are just, again, things to be concerned with. And I'm not trying to discourage anybody from getting a pet and having a dog in the RV, because Belle absolutely elevates our travels. We get to experience travel in a way very differently because of Belle. She sees things that we don't see. She smells things that we don't see. She gets us to go places that we wouldn't normally go to. We go to way more parks than we normally would. So absolutely, if you're thinking of getting a pet or a dog or some type of animal for your RV travels, I think it's great. She's a great companion. It's awesome to have a little buddy with you everywhere you go. Just keep in mind, no matter how much you want them to be everywhere with you, it just can't always be that way. You might just short little times, like you get to a campground and you have to check in the office. Typically, they're not allowed in the office. So even 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe there's a long line in there and you're in there for 10 minutes. And now your dog is by themselves in this RV for those 10 minutes. Some of the things, too, that will help you get your dog to transition into RV life a little easier is bringing as much familiar objects as you can into the RV. Instead of like maybe purchasing a brand new bed and bringing it in the RV, bring the bed that you have in the house, put that in the RV, and then replace that with a new bed for the house. Toys, don't go out and buy all new toys. Bring the toys from the house into the RV. Things that will make them feel like, oh, this is mine. This is my home because it has my stuff in it. I think, that sounds really small and really simple, but things like that really make a big difference, I think, when it comes to pets. Keep a schedule. Keep your dog on a schedule. Make a set time for play. Make sure, because an RV can be small, especially if you're looking at something like van life, where they're not going to get a lot of stretching. They're not going to get a lot of activities like inside the RV. So plan to stop at Love's and use their dog parks or find dog parks along the way find hiking trails along the way. Make sure when you're driving from location to location, it's just not all work, 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 and drive, 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 and no breaks at all. If you need a break, most likely your dog needs double the break, I would say. Belle, anyway, really likes to take her time and smell a new area and explore. So give your dog that time. Build that into your schedule. Know that you are going to be stopping a little bit more often and for a little bit longer for your dog to enjoy the trip just like you're enjoying the trip. Your dog will let you know if RV travel is right for them. And it may not be the RV travel, it may be the RV itself. We are in a small Class A, but our small Class A is a lot louder and it has sounds that, say, a smaller vehicle does not, such as a Class B or a Class C. So if you are experiencing a lot of pushback from your pet with RV travel, it could be the RV itself, and maybe you need to look into a different RV. And that may sound kind of funny, but hey, we do anything for Belle. If Belle all of a sudden hated our Class A, we'd buy her a new one. We'd buy her a smaller, more comfortable, quieter rig to make sure that she was happy. I know that might sound ridiculous, but we're a bit ridiculous sometimes. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. If you disliked it, you can give it a thumbs down. I'd like to say that this video was brought to you by me and Belle. If you don't know, Belle did write a book called Belle's RV Adventures. It's available on Amazon, and I'm going to put that link down into the description, and I'll also throw it in the comment. It is a 10-part book series. The first book is out right now. It's called Desert Discovery. We are working on the second book right now, which is Belle's RV Adventures, Route 66. And these are all true stories. Everything you read in these little kids' books are true stories. Illustrations were done by my niece. And it's been a really fun project to sit down and work with Belle. As I type, she sits next to me the entire time I type these books out. And she really gives me a lot of help and inspiration as far as the stories go. And like I said, they're all true stories, even in this first book about the coyote. People keep on asking me, is that part of the book true? Every part of the books are true. So that's everything. Take care, everybody. Safe travels. If you have any questions that I did not cover here in this video and you want to ask me, shoot them down in the comment section. They can be about Belle. They can be about pets. They can be about RVing. They can be about anything at all. All right, everybody. Bye.